Hello, friends. Just a quick cold open before we get into the shenanigans of this week. I recently took on a little bit of a project here. The first 20 episodes of the podcast have now been remastered and re-edited for your listening pleasure. We were kind of learning how to do everything remote back then, and yeah, they needed a little bit of updating and a little bit of streamlining to make it nice to go back and hear our idiot selves talk about whatever we talk about. So make sure to check that out. They should be in your podcast players by the time that this episode comes out. So, on with the show.
Dunkin' Donuts, America run no dun-dun.
Well, that's just a blatant lie. There's always shenanigans.
Yeah, but I didn't do the blatant disregard countdown that I just go all over the place.
That you've been doing for months. Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to the Packy Run podcast. My name is AJ La Gambina.
I am Dan. AJ's mom thinks it's my birthday today. Mayot.
I saw that on Facebook and I wanted to comment. I forgot to. Yeah, Dan's birthday is in October, Mom.
But thank you.
I do like the idea that you were really born again on the day that we moved in wearing the same Super Heaven t-shirt. So is it the anniversary of that? I think so. We're mid-August, the 21st. Yeah, I think
that sounds about right.
I think that was however many years ago, today or yesterday or whenever that happened.
Wow, college is early.
Yeah, dude.
But then again, we get out pretty early.
Schools have been back here in Tennessee for a while, and I do not miss those days.
I mean, the only thing I know is Boston just announced, like yesterday, I believe, that starting, I believe, the 25th, it's a mask mandate inside, like everywhere in the city.
Yeah, they're
with the schools coming back, so that makes sense. That checks out.
Also, it's Tennessee, so they're not gonna get to that point until they're like the last ones or the second to last ones. But that's definitely in the cards down here. And some of the like my job, which remains nameless, they're starting to gear up for social distancing markers and all that kind of stuff. And
my other job that remains nameless that I do not like. I'm fine talking about the jobs I do like. I will not talk about the jobs I dislike, but the job I dislike, they require, I think August 9th, they were like, yeah, you gotta slap the mask back on.
Yeah, we've been in the masks for probably about a month and a half, and man, especially as somebody with a beard and someone who's fully vaccinated, I'm not a happy camper about it. I must not tell lies. Oh,
I'm so mad, especially when like the past couple of weeks I've been dealing with like customers not wearing masks.
Yeah, this whole thing could have been over, but y'all think you're smarter than actual scientists and doctors and stuff, so
yeah.
Whatever. COVID's cashed.
Ugh, I
hate it.
I hate it too. I'm over it.
Well, let's
distract ourselves.
Pivot. Indeed. Let's distract ourselves. Let's talk about what we're drinking on this fine Saturday afternoon, and keep it positive, keep it light, keep it nice for the kids. The kids at home.
I have hot black coffee because your boy is tired and has been on a grind this week of working a lot of concerts. So coffee. And this is
same here, dude.
And today was going to be my only day off for the next like 2 or 3 weeks, but there's a hurricane hitting Massachusetts, so something got pushed back, which means my Monday is just going to be fucked.
Yeah. We'll listen, you roll with the punches as they come in.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
I also have had some scheduling weirdness, which is nothing new for me. But I thought for sure that I was working today, and it turns out I'm not. So I slept in a little bit. I'm preparing to do laundry when we're done with this. And to prepare for that, I am also drinking hot black coffee. I am, however, drinking it out of my Nope mug, which is the most on-brand gift I have ever received. Kid's got a J for Justine.
I'm drinking it out of a pink mug with a blue J for Justine, so I stole her mug.
You're adorable.
Or just a thief.
Also, yeah, that too.
Just a dirty little thief.
You got your grubby little thief hands all over her mug. How dare you? Yeah, dude. I got this mug from some, I guess you can now call them ex-coworkers of mine. When I was transitioning to a new store, they got me and my friend Ashley, better known as Dash. They got me and Dash these little going away gifts with like Starbucks gift cards and little handwritten notes and stuff. And we each got a mug, and mine just says Nope. And
too bad Starbucks is trash.
It is garbage, but it got me, listen, shitty fast food breakfast sandwiches are unbeatable.
That is true. That's true.
I hate how good they are. Like,
dude, you can just make them at home.
But can you make like a McDonald's McGriddle at home? I mean, yes, you can, but is it going to be the same greasy deliciousness?
I mean, you could. It's just, I mean, it requires 20 more steps.
It's all about those chemicals, baby. It's so good.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
I'm dreaming about those now.
Oh my
This is bad.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes of it all.
Just a thick boy thinking about some McGriddles.
Oh my god. Speaking of laundry, did I tell you how did I tell this podcast how I opened up a separate bank account just to get quarters?
You might have told that story. I'm not sure if you told that story on air or...
Okay, so...
Yeah, somebody's going to have to hit us up on Instagram or Twitter and let us know.
In the off chance that I didn't tell this story on air, as I get a million emails, and you probably heard that in the background.
You're an important man, Dan Mayotte.
No, they're just like Indeed emails about job alerts.
True.
Anyways, so one fine Saturday, Justine and I were trying to do laundry, and my main bank account is Capital One, and there are no...
What's in your wallet?
Yeah, what's in your wallet? I mean, apparently there's no ATMs or branches that you can get quarters from around here.
And there's definitely not change in your wallet.
Nope.
It's okay, I'll see myself out.
Yes. Anyways, so, and if you're asking like the cafes, they're kind of pointless. They just serve you coffee and there's an ATM inside, which is fine, but you can't take like coins out. So one Saturday, Justine and I were trying to do our laundry, and her bank would only give her one roll, but we needed another roll of quarters. And so while waiting for my breakfast across the street from Santander, I literally sat there and opened a bank account. And then went in and got like the app, and I was like, hi, yes, I'd like a roll of quarters. And they're like, do you have an account here? And I just showed them the app. And I was like, hi, yes, I do. And they were like, well, you don't have any money in it. And I was like, well, here's a 10. Because like...
It's the most millennial shit.
But here's the thing, though. Like, I've gone to like other bank accounts in the surrounding area because I live near a Citizens one, an East Boston bank, and then like maybe one other one. And I was like, hi, yes, can I get quarters? Here's a $10 bill. And they're like, do you have an account here? And they're like, I'm like, no. And they're like, sorry, no.
Sorry, bro.
Sorry, bro.
Sorry, bro.
All right. That was long-winded, and you probably don't care about my quarter troubles. But let's get into Patriots talk now.
let's talk about the Pats. We are 2 preseason games deep since we last spoke, which is also, man, we're incapable of just like speaking in a linear fashion, aren't we? Yeah.
I think it's just because we've just been so busy. So I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, we're trying to do the weekly uploads thing again. Being back to working in actual physical places instead of sitting at our desks makes that hard. So thanks for bearing with us. I've been looking at the analytics though, and people are listening and they're going through the back catalog and stuff, which is super cool. So happy to have you guys here. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at PackyRunPod. Anyway, the New England Patriots.
Let's go through the first game versus the Washington football game.
The Washington football team with Teamy the Team Monster.
Yes.
Never gets old thinking about fucking Gridiron Heights. It's so good.
Now, I can't really speak much. I have been working on Thursday nights, so I haven't been able to catch a lot of it. I've read articles and I have caught some highlights. AJ is the one who has sat down and has the insight and knowledge
big brain
into
big
it.
Brain moments for AJ.
So I will defer to AJ right here.
So everybody knows that like the big kind of thing that's been going on in New England is the quarterback competition. We've got Mac Jones, Mr. Rookie, Mr. Number 10, which big surprise there with the number reveal.
Yeah, right. No surprise.
Yeah, Mac Jones versus Cam Newton for the starting quarterback spot. Cam only played the first 2 series, I believe, of that game. Only 2 or 3 drives.
That's what it looks like.
And game number 1 seemed to be really a lot of what we saw from Cam last year, to be honest. He looked a little frazzled. He wasn't, analyzing or making decisions. The upside was that he wasn't, taking too long.
Right.
He was on the opposite end of the spectrum where you could see that he was kind of still in his head, and it was very obvious that Josh McDaniels and the rest of the coaching staff has been working on getting him to get the ball out early. So he looked proficient, I guess would be the word, but he wasn't, it wasn't this big turnaround, like, it wasn't necessarily what we were hoping to see from Cam going into this year, like a reinvented quarterback, which I don't think is necessarily a super realistic thing to be expecting from him. So he looked fine. He just looked a little bit frazzled, and he looked like what he would have looked like if we had a preseason for him last year. Just
sure.
Trying to figure out what an actual game setting looks like in a Patriots uniform. So he was fine, but it was nothing really to write home about. And when he was done, they threw in the new kid. They threw in Mac and Cheese.
McCorkle, Mr.
McCorkle. Oh God, what a name.
That's what I'm always going to refer to Mac Jones as McCorkle.
I think that's earned. He's a goofy looking kid. I won't lie. You really shouldn't be like making fun of the way that people look, but it's just undeniable.
It's funny.
When he got drafted, that strut down the hallway, he just like what a goof nugget.
Anyways,
Matt came in and looked like everything you would want a Patriots quarterback to look like. He was fast, but he was decisive. He wasn't making a lot of mistakes. There wasn't a bunch of rookie kind of stuff coming from him in that first game. I think that was kind of the refreshing, surprising thing. Yeah. And I think part of the reason why a lot of the people in the national media were comparing him to Tom Brady, which is just every time Mac Jones and Tom Brady are spoken in the same sentence, I want to put my head through a wall. But also people were really kind of riding high on him, and I think it's not necessarily earned. Like Cam feels like a work in progress, but there's also a lot that I feel like the Patriots might be holding him back on because they don't want to like reveal too much.
Right.
Because Bill Belichick's teams are always trying to play chess and, hide some things to make sure that there's some surprises on actual game days. I feel like the same might hold up for Mac.
I mean, they played a clean game. They didn't turn the ball over. Just looking at his general stats right here, 13 for 19, 87 yards, and was sacked once. From what it looks like, he didn't really take many chances. He was conservative with the ball, not like throwing it deep out there, unless I'm wrong.
Well, and I feel like that's been true of him throughout all of training camp and now 2 preseason games in. He's not throwing Hail Marys. He's not scrambling all around the field. He's not a Patrick Mahomes or a Lamar Jackson or a Josh Allen kind of quarterback. He is, I think that's part of the reason why Brady gets brought up so much, is he's a pocket passer, and that's been the Patriots' bread and butter for over 20 years. So it makes sense. He's got pretty good command of the pocket though. And he's shown that in both games. He looks like a professional quarterback.
Yeah. There was one play against the Eagles where the pocket was starting to collapse on him, and he was able to step up and complete a pass like over the middle to, I forget who it was, but that was a really nice play to see, showing off some of the mobility that he has.
And he definitely has some mobility. He has that like in his toolbox. The kid can run. He's not beating anybody in a foot race necessarily, but he's not the kind of sitting duck that we're used to seeing in New England.
I want to take a second to talk about Ramondre Stevenson.
Yes, please do.
Because man, he is looking like a stud. That's a stud pickup.
He and Damian Harris have just I love what I'm seeing out of both of those guys. There is definitely like the run game is super strong with this team. We've got proficient receivers now. We look like a sleeper team, which you can tell football season's back because I'm watching Colin Cowherd on YouTube. I know. You've got.
I have some opinions and thoughts on Colin Cowherd. I think sometimes he just says stuff just to try to get the clicks.
I feel like that's true every time he talks about anything other than the Patriots. It feels very clickbaity, and it feels like, just look at his kind of ongoing war with Baker Mayfield, and it's not that hard to see that he's playing the media game, which he's a media guy. What do you expect?
Right.
But when it comes to hot takes on the Patriots, usually his takes aren't that hot. And one of the things that he was saying is, by the numbers, if you look at this team on paper, they're a 10-win team, maybe 11 games, which I think is totally reasonable. Like that's a super level-headed take about this team.
Yeah.
But yesterday or 2 days ago, he did put up a clip where he was talking about the previous 2 Patriots dynasties. And he was like, if you look at this team for the past 20 years, the first dynasty, who did they really have that was, a star receiver? Was their defense swallowing people whole necessarily?
Right.
No, not really. They were a death by 1,000 cuts kind of team on the offense.
Yep.
And the defense wasn't elite. They were just physical. And then the middle years between the 2 dynasties was when they were super fun to watch. They had elite offenses and defenses, but they weren't winning rings.
Right. Yeah.
And then you get to the last 3 Super Bowls that we won. And again, Julian Edelman, one of my favorite players of all time, and I think one of the most well-respected players of our lifetimes.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
Is he a number 1, the most elite receiver? No, but he was our number 1 receiver for a lot of those games.
Yeah.
We had Gronk on the back end of his career, honestly. And was Gronkowski, the biggest contributing factor outside of some big games and some singular big plays? No. So again, the offense just turned into a death by 1,000 cuts kind of offense. And granted, we had some really, really great defenses that got us where we needed to go.
Right.
But again, those squads were not as quote unquote elite as they were in between the 2 dynasties. So it is it was an interesting point that he brought up about, you look at this team on paper and you say, okay, 10, 11 games, probably not deep into, playoff football. But historically, those have been the Patriots squads that have come out of nowhere and just dominated the back half of the year.
Yeah. And I think what I really like about this team, I like the strengths of, they're deep at running back.
Like very deep at running back.
Like, they have Damian Harris, JJ Taylor, who he's been great this preseason. He had like a couple games last year that were fantastic. Kind of got buried on the depth chart. Ramondre Stevenson, who Belichick has to put him in the game.
Yeah.
Like, that kid deserves to be in the game. Sony
through
Michel, who number one pick, or not number one pick, but like first round draft pick. I guess you could say he's probably a bust. I would take all those guys ahead of him. And then you got James White. James White is like still there as well.
Yeah, and we've got a much better pass rush than we've had the past couple of years, which is going to help with some of those more mobile quarterbacks. And the defensive depth is as good as it's been in a while.
Yeah,
I think we're looking at a sleeper team right now.
But I will say, the NFC East is not a very competitive division. That division was not that good last year. Eagles are primed to not be a good team this year. The Washington football team won it, but they were like 8-8. So I think it's a little too early to say this team is going to win the division and like the Patriots are going to go off to the Super Bowl. That's way too early.
Oh, not with Buffalo at our back door and Kansas State. Like Kansas City is still
no. Like our two opponents are not very good.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade here.
Exactly. And that ties into game number 2, which we have touched on but kind of glossed over. The final score doesn't tell the whole story there. 35-0 is, the Eagles basically played their second and third string players for the entire game. And there was the only big takeaway that I really got from that game, outside of the fact that like Mac Jones still looks really good for a rookie. There were a couple of plays on those first few drives where we actually did see something different from Cam that we didn't see last year or in the game against Washington. He manipulated the pocket. He actually moved.
Yeah.
And really kind of worked it and was able to he do pocket passer things that we've never really seen from him in a Patriots uniform. Which again, the asterisk there is you're playing against second and third string guys. You're playing against a team that's overall not very good. It might be a little bit easier to do that in that kind of situation. But we've seen him play against some terrible teams and against some really good teams, and we've never seen Cam with the footwork like that. He wasn't relying on his feet and his strength to bulldoze through people. He was manipulating the field and waiting for the right guy to be open to pass the ball.
Yeah. He went 8 for 9, 103 passing yards, 1 touchdown with a rating of 151.4. Passer rating, that's awesome.
He had rhythm.
Yeah.
Which is not something that you could really say about him before now. So hopefully that's an indication of things to come, because I think that he's going to be our starter, and he's going to be our starter for a little bit longer.
Yeah. And this is probably going to be the last. I would anticipate that's probably the most we're going to see from Cam the rest of this offseason. He might play maybe a series in the next one against the Giants, but I don't expect Cam to play a lot in the third game.
Yeah, no.
Generally speaking, he's
partially because Mac just needs more reps, and partially because I think he's going to be the starter, and I think that if we know anything about Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels led teams, they don't like showing off everything they have until they absolutely have to.
Yep.
And I feel like I said, Cam is known for just throwing his weight around and really being a physical quarterback. Mobile is technically the right word, but he's not scrambling all around the field trying to make a pass. He just dominates people in front of him. So I think that they're holding a little bit of that back, but I also think that his footwork and his rhythm that we saw in that first series against the Eagles is going to be an indication of he might have a couple more things in the toolbox that we're not willing to show just yet.
Yeah, for sure. Given the depth at running back and some of the disappointment of for example, N'Keal Harry, do you think the Patriots are going to release Sony Michel and N'Keal Harry?
I think it's not the worst idea. I think it probably frees up a little bit of space on the books, or gives us a little bit of leverage, because the season is long, and it's going to be even longer this year with 17 games instead of 16.
Yeah, for sure.
As we get into the regular season and the end of the trade deadlines and everything else, it'll be I don't think anything's going to happen immediately or even within the next few weeks, but I wouldn't be surprised if we end up using either of those two players in some leverage to get, I don't know, we might end up needing another receiver, we might need some sort of piece to the puzzle at some point.
Yeah.
That having those guys as chess pieces that we're able to move will probably be beneficial. I think N'Keal Harry he's been a bust for us, but it wouldn't be the first time that there was a player that didn't work for us that ended up really kind of shining with another team, and especially when he starts the preseason with asking for a trade. I wouldn't be shocked. Everyone's
kind of done with them anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah, what has Sony Michel done these last couple of years? Not much. We drafted Sony Michel over like Lamar Jackson. Grant you, it's worked out, but I think Sony Michel is excess goods.
Yeah, he's a little cashed as far as our system goes. We've moved on.
Yeah, and I think Damian Harris, Rajay Stevenson, and JJ
Head
Taylor.
chef Damian Harris.
Yes.
Let the man cook.
Head chef.
It's too good.
Oh, I love that. Oh,
same.
But yeah, the Patriots they are set to face the New York Giants next Thursday, I believe, right?
Yes. I believe it is another Thursday game.
So they're going to play the Giants next Thursday. We're going to have to see what happens. And then the 30th, that's when everyone gets cut. We have to cut it down to the 53.
And if we know anything, we know that we don't know anything.
I do want to talk for a second about the Patriots kicker. Did you hear this story?
I have not.
Let me pull him up real quick.
We talking about Big Kick Nick?
No, it's not Big Kick Nick.
Oh, the other kid.
Yeah.
Nick Focus out right now. The kid that whiffed entirely too many.
Oh yeah, he missed a couple kicks.
Like real bad, missed a couple kicks.
Oh yeah. But I thought it was Quinn Nordin. That's his name.
Yeah.
Hopefully he makes the roster, but I don't know at this point. But I thought it was funny how he was literally on LinkedIn looking for jobs as the Patriots were calling him to invite him to training camp.
Yeah.
I thought that's very funny, and I was like, damn, I relate to that.
I love me some undrafted Patriots players.
Yes. So Quinn Nordin, I'm rooting for you, buddy. Hopefully he gets on.
It's too funny.
Just as somebody in a similar position.
Yeah.
Anyways, do we have anything else to add to Patriots?
No, I'm just excited football's back.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Gives me something to do. Something to watch besides the same 6 Netflix shows all the time.
The Office, Friends, Archer, Bob's Burgers. I'm trying to name all 6 here. Oh, West Wing, Gilmore Girls. Boom.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
That's pretty much it.
I did restart Daredevil though.
Okay.
That was what a great show.
Oh, and
anyway.
Falcon Millennial, whatever, something with Star Wars.
Oh, all of the Star Wars.
Yeah,
every of the Star Wars.
All the Star Wars. Nerd.
Just watch those movies over and over again. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Come for my neck. It's fine.
Anyways, we
You are a
are
bold one.
gonna move on to our music section, and it's funny, we picked this album earlier this week, and AJ actually ran into them in Nashville.
Yeah. So a couple of days ago, Dan and I were talking, trying to formulate a game plan, figure out when we could record, and we decided to do the album No Sanctuary by A Loss for Words. We talked about it on a previous podcast when we kind of went through the Absolute Punk Best of 2011 list. So we've been trying to go through a bunch of these 10-year anniversary albums, and yeah, we decided we both love this band and this album. We figured that we'd we figured that we'd give it a shot and go through track by track. Yesterday, which was Friday the 20th, for those of you listening at home.
Yes.
I had an hour-long lunch at work, and I walked down the street to Bowie's, which is one of my favorite bars here in Nashville. They take really good care of me, so if you ever end up in Nashville, you'll get some of the best live sound ever, and good drinks, good bartenders, good people. They were all, that entire crew, shout out to them. Anyway, I walked into Bowie's to get some lunch, and Dan, who is the owner's son and one of the bartenders, sees me walk in and goes, "Dude, there's a couple of people from Boston here at the bar," which is like my brand precedes me, I guess.
Yeah.
And this one guy in a scally cap turns around, and I looked at him and I was like, "Maddie?" And yeah, it was Maddie, the vocalist from A Loss for Words, well-known figure in the Boston punk and hardcore scene. And yeah, I told him that a couple of days earlier that you and I had been talking and that we had decided to do No Sanctuary for this episode of the podcast, and he was pretty stoked. So Maddie, if you're listening, thanks for being the homie, taking a couple of pictures. I don't usually like doing that with band dudes because they're just out living their life, and like he was with friends and I wasn't trying to blow up his spot, but he was cool and came over and talked to me for a little bit, and good dude, backed hard.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the album No Sanctuary. Came out in 2011. I believe this is the band's second LP.
The second full length came out on Rise Records, which, to give context to Rise Records, I mean, at that particular time, it was mostly like metalcore bands, those Rise core bands.
Yeah, I remember when they announced that they had gotten signed and that they were going to put this album out on Rise. It was kind of it was a little bit of a sleeper there. Like you wouldn't have thought of like a pop punk band like this being on that label.
Right, because it's mostly it's like Dance Gavin Dance, Crown the Empire, Memphis Mayfire,
Of Mice and Men.
Oh yeah, Mice of Men. A lot of those just MySpace, Warped Tour, metalcore bands.
Yeah. And weird thing that I didn't know until just now, it was this was produced by Andrew Wade,
Yeah.
who did most of A Day to Remember's discography, which kind of makes sense considering the like every time I hear this album, like my first thought is compression. Like everything is really squished to get all that kind of heaviness in there. Which I guess that's actually kind of a cool part of the history of A Loss for Words. For anybody that's super into, this vein of pop punk, like A Loss for Words, The Wonder Years, The Story So Far, that kind of hardcore tinged pop punk, I guess is what you could call it.
Right.
Like this was the band that took them all out on their first tours. Like The Story So Far got absolutely massive, and I believe their first tour was with A Loss for Words. I think that might actually be true about The Wonder Years too. Like you don't have those bands without A Loss for Words.
I mean, I'm not sure. I think somebody should fact check you on that. But like,
Somebody vet me.
someone audit AJ.
Yes.
But I mean, they all toured around the same time. They all were friends. They all kind of like got up together, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I remember that. What was the clothing company that did like a big tour with all of like the biggest pop punk bands at the time?
Come on, bro. Come on. How do you not know that? Glamour Kills.
They had the Glamour Kills, yeah, the one with the flying pig.
Come on, man.
It's weird because I don't think of A Loss for Words or like any of those like true like pop punk bands. When I think of Glamour Kills, I think of fucking All Time Low, like the neon scene mall kind of thing.
I remember I was talking to somebody recently, and it was the Glamour Kills holiday show. I was like talking about that, and it was at House of Blues. And
it's down street, baby.
Oh yeah, let me just read this lineup. It was the Wonder Years, A Loss for Words, With the Punches, I Call Fives, Brian Marquise, Hostage Calm, The Dangerous Summer, Transit, State Champs, and Hit the Lights.
What a stacked fucking lineup.
I mean, I missed some of it, but I remember definitely seeing Transit because I was into that. Hometown Boys. I remember Lindsay playing with a Lost for Words. Lindsay from Paris.
Lynn Gunn with the V.
Oh, well,
Man,
yeah.
all the A's were V's for Paris. That band actually holds up really well. That first album especially.
I mean,
They did some cool stuff.
they're really cool. But I mean, all of them, pretty much all the bands that we have talked about in the past, like pop punk in the sense of like 10 years ago, definitely toured with the Lost for Words at one point or another.
Dude, I'm reading through the Wikipedia article right now. I forgot that they were on a Warped Tour in 2012.
Yep.
That was
a thing.
That was what a great year for that tour. I remember they played in the amphitheater at the Tweeter Center. I forget what it was called at the time though.
What, in Mansfield?
Yeah, they played in the amphitheater, and they split the stage so that there were two stages.
Nice.
One half was one band, one half was the other. And I remember bailing on all my friends to catch a Lost for Words set because they went on right before Vanna. And then all of my friends were texting me trying to figure out where I was when they got there for Vanna, and I was already right up in the front. I was ready.
Yeah.
I was a lifer.
Oh, yeah.
I still love that band.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this album.
Exactly. A Lost for Words, staples of the Boston scene. So yeah, No Sanctuary starts off with the song Honeymoon Eyes.
As far as openers go, it just hits you right in the face.
Yeah, there's no punches pulled for most of this album. They just launch right into, it's pop punk, dude.
What is the effect that it's like kind of like the sustain at the beginning? Because you would know way more about that.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know what specifically it is, but it gets that
kind of like reverb or something like that.
Yeah, there's definitely, I think it's like a delay kind of deal. And it just builds right in, and then yeah, I don't know what specifically it is. I just know that, they try and kind of get to that crescendo,
right?
I guess.
Yeah,
like right at the beginning, so it kind of fades in and it hits you straight in the face. And that's what I'm talking about, like I said earlier, with compression. Like, this is a loud album.
It is. It's almost, have you ever heard the band like Guttermouth?
I've heard them, yeah.
So they're kind of like in the vein of like a hardcore pop punk band, kind of like like 4 Years Strong. This is kind of in that same vein, this song particularly. Hard hitting, it's kind of heavy, it's still has like all the pop sensibilities to it. Yeah,
and that's, we're going to be saying that a lot throughout the next couple of tracks. Like, this is all about, it's heavy and it's riffy, and it has that punk hardcore kind of sensibility of like the music is designed to make you move, but it's super catchy. Like, everything about it is a lot of it centers around Maddie's vocals and his melodies, and like they want you to be singing along the entire time while you're slamming people in the pit. Yeah, for sure. And as far as production on this one versus like Stamp of Approval, this is it's like miles ahead. The other, with their previous release, it sounded, don't get me wrong, it sounds good. It doesn't sound dated. It still holds up, in my opinion. But this sounds advanced. It sounds, go on. Yeah, I think overall, to be honest, I think The Kids Can't Lose actually, production-wise, probably holds up a little bit better. I think I'm also a sucker for that like early 2000s kind of sensibility.
Yeah,
there's a little bit more. There's a little bit more breathing room, I guess, in the mix and the master on that album, whereas this one is just so in your face all the time. But this is a product of that, that early 2010s kind of. We could get into the whole thing about the loudness wars and everything else. I think that's part of why this production style doesn't hold up for me personally, as well as some of the band's previous stuff. But all the songwriting is definitely improved. Like, there's this album, like A Lost for Words flexes a little bit. Like, they get a little bit more technical. a little bit more focused on, you know, the riffs and stuff. And then Matty just does his like, he's always got this kind of like soul kind of deal going on.
I mean, he did have like a soul project for like a little bit, like R&B.
Yeah, soul R&B kind of deal.
Which is cool.
Which he's always had.
Yeah.
And that's always been a thing with his vocal style over all of the A Loss for Words releases and everything else he's done. Like he sounds, it's part of the reason why this band is interesting. And you know, it's me, so of course all things tie back into Fall Out Boy. He was like a more hardcore based version of what Patrick Stump kind of did, where you wouldn't think that doing like soul and R&B kind of riffs over punk music would work, but it does really well, especially in this case.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, as far as structure of this song goes, there's not a lot of verses. It's all chorus. This is meant to be like that sing-along song.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, again, talking about the album openers are supposed to set the tone, and if you can do that effectively, chances are that the rest of the album is going to be pretty all right. And this does the job. It gives you a good taste of, okay, we're getting heavy, we're getting riffy, we're getting that, you know, there's a touch of that kind of metal and hardcore sensibility in the backing track, but also this band wants you to sing along. And right off the bat, Honeymoon Eyes tells you exactly what's up.
Yeah. Now moving on, we have Pray for Rain.
This is kind of a thing with a lot of Boston bands. Songs about the weather.
Yeah. I mean, this one's not corny, though. I will say that. There are some pretty corny, like, Boston, like, weather songs.
Yeah, and I find this one's super interesting to me lyrically because it feels a little bit more like poetic, especially if you just read the lyrics like front to back.
Yeah.
And there's also, again, another pop punk trope with a lyric like The Illusion, Day to Day, It's All the Same, This is a Young Man's Game, I think my edge is starting to show.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, these guys, at this point in their career, they had been around for quite some time.
I mean, they were around for 10 years.
Yeah. So to have a band that's successful in the way that they were successful, but they never broke like huge.
Right.
The way that some of their contemporaries did and just got like absolutely massive. And writing, so there's a little bit of a trope about like writing lyrics about where you are in your career as a pop punk band and, you know, songs about being on the road and things like that. But it doesn't, this one to get to that, you're kind of reading into it as opposed to it being, you know, songs about being on the road where it's just kind of in your face. Like it's not all it's cracked up to be. It doesn't strike me as like an oh poor me kind of song.
I mean, part of like the first line being like, glad to hear you're doing nothing with your life, trapped in your studio apartment. I mean,
coming for my neck.
It's like, dude, that is, you're okay, Mr. Pop Punk. Calm down there. Yeah. Take a chill pill. Yeah.
But the music backs it up really nicely. I'm just the guitars on this. That was one of my biggest takeaways going back and listening to this, like doing my homework for the podcast. This was right in the sweet spot for Andrew Wade's production, where, you know, after this, heading into the mid 2010s,
right?
He started going for that almost gent kind of guitar tone, which kind of sucks the life out of things that should be really heavy. They sound kind of smoothed out, I guess. This album has so much crunch.
It's crunchy, but it's also yet clean.
Yeah, and I'd like to see some of the waveforms and maybe look into some of the actual tracks as they were recorded, because I feel like there's a little bit of digital distortion going on all over this album, but it's really musical and cool.
But I'm okay with like digital distortion though.
Yeah, I mean, if it's done correctly, which I would say it's done correctly here, you get it, it's loud, it's in your face, it's like it envelops you. I love that.
Yeah. As far as like a second track goes, or how I feel about this song on like overall on the album, it fits. It's not my favorite song, but it's also not the worst song on the record either.
It does have one of my favorite lyrics, though.
Which
the
one?
Smell after rain isn't reason to pray for hurricanes.
Well, yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Bars.
Yeah. Bars, man.
Bars.
Kids got bars. That's one of those lines that if I were a betting man, I'd say that someone was somewhere and that line just came to them and they wrote it down, and that might have been, at least for me, if I had a line like that, I would have written it down or put it in my notes app or something, and I would have built the entire song around that. Like got the entire song built around that one line.
I mean, hey, maybe you can ask Maddie if he's still around in Nashville. Quick question, bro. Did you build the entire song Pray for
Around
Rain
this one line?
around this one line? Just wondering, bro. Okay, have a good day.
Yeah.
Just like bounce.
I wouldn't mind. If he's Maddie, if you're around, come on the podcast. Let's hang. Three of us can crush some Sam Loggers and
Yeah.
we can do an oral history of A Loss for Words, because we love your band, man.
Yes.
All right.
Pirouette.
Let's move on to Pirouette.
Pirouette.
This was like the one of the two big songs on this album.
Yeah. I think this is the song off the record.
Yeah.
It's that song.
Yeah, you think of this album, you probably think of this song, and the music video. Both of the music videos for this were pretty cool. I'm getting like flashback images in my head.
I think more about the next one, or not this music video, but the next music video.
Well, the next video is definitely more kind of cinematic and storytelling. This one, if I remember correctly, had the shots of the dancer because it's Pirouette.
Yeah,
you kind of get it. And then obviously shots of the band just rocking out. I think this one they were on top of a building or something.
Yeah,
they were on their Beatles shit. I love it.
Yeah, let it be. Anyways,
yeah, this is arguably the catchiest song on the album. That's why it was a single. You get those the drum intro to this, just a quick couple of hits before you get. And you get those sustained chords on the guitar that are like cleaner than you would expect, but it really kind of helps build into that chorus.
I think what makes
damn dude.
I think what makes this song really good, and it holds up today as an overall, not just pop punk, but like a rock song in general. It's not dated, and it doesn't follow the same tropes as a lot of other pop punk bands like Main Song did back in that day. Like the story so far with Daughters, for example.
Yeah.
Like that song today, as we're sitting here, August 21st, 2021, that song does not hold up at all. And people were screaming that song back in the day, like 10 years ago. This one holds up and will always hold up forever.
Yeah, it's still like lyrically you do kind of get the impression that, the narrator is putting this dancer on a pedestal and kind of singing it at a person, but it's not that, we talked about it in the Fall Out Boy episode and a couple of other episodes, like you don't get that angry white boy energy. It's more of it's storytelling, which I'm always a sucker for. Like you can kind of insert your own kind of narratives into it, but there's not much here to argue with. It's just, if you've ever, it's not even specifically about the dancer, it's just about that other person and like their passions and their things, that you can kind of listen to this song and it'll remind you of that person. It's there's a really interesting kind of choose your own adventure element to the lyrics here.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a big chorus.
It's a fucking massive chorus.
It's everything you want in like a pop punk song. You want to be able to be screaming the lyrics and screaming along to the chorus. That's the whole point of every pop punk song. Exactly.
It's built for the live show, but not in that like mosh call crowd participation way. It's built to be just screamed along to.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 song.
Yep.
No doubt.
No abandoned trailors. It's 10 out of 10.
Oh my goodness.
This song is built for venues bigger than the Crunch House. And so is the next one, Raining Excuses.
Now, this is when I think of this album, I think of this song, but I think of the music video specifically.
Yep.
Because of just who's in it and how well that person fits as like the villain of the music video. Now I don't know. Now I don't know Dave Muse, AB Muse, at all, and I'm sure he's a fine person in real life, but a lot of people have issues with him, and he is kind of looked at as the villain of the Boston music scene.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know any of the specifics about what went on with all that.
I know there's a lot of drama,
but yeah, it is, man. Especially for the past few years, there has been a ton of drama. But you're not wrong. Like funny how that kind of telegraphed whatever happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we don't need to speak on things that we're not experts on.
Yes.
Stuff happened. We can all form our own opinions.
But I mean, it's basically, it's interesting because most pop punk bands in the era of this, we're going to keep saying this over and over again. And I'm sorry. I will apologize in advance. They took a different approach. Usually it's the guy's perspective of the girl screwing over them. In this case, it's the guy being the piece of shit to the girl.
Yeah, and it's the outside looking in kind of narrative that is. I mean, people have done it, especially lately. But at this time, this was kind of a unique take on it.
Yeah, it wasn't done a lot. And maybe I'm just thinking of like the one band of like the story so far because we're gonna pick on them a lot today.
Yeah, it's some of their stuff just did not age well.
Nope.
But it's definitely, this song musically is again one of the top tracks on the record. There's a reason why it was a single. But this is the epitome of bouncy. You get those like upstroked guitar parts. Like you just start pogo. You start doing the pogo in the middle of the pit to this song.
And then the great bridge. It's raining.
Yup.
Like
this was
that's a great bridge right there.
This was one of those songs. I did get to go to A Loss for Words' last show at the Worcester Palladium, and obviously, stamp of approval. Hold your breath. Like the hits were played, and it was everybody reacted to that. But this was arguably one of the most fun songs of that night. That was a crazy night too. I bought a guitar amp. outside of the Palladium.
Wasn't it Joe Chabelli or something like that?
Yeah, my friend Noah and I drove on a whim. I got off work and I was checking Instagram or something, and I saw that Therefore I Am was going to do a surprise baby set. So I was like, I have to get to Worcester. So Noah and I went, and I had been talking to a kid that was living in that area of Massachusetts about I had a PV amplifier that was kind of busted, and I had just purchased some sort of other guitar amp, but I didn't have a cab to go with that head.
Yeah.
So I traded this PV 60 watt thing with him for his 2x12 amp, but I couldn't get out to Western Mass until that night, and I reached out to him and I was like, yo, I'm going to be at the Palladium tonight. Are you going to be around? Can we trade? So Noah and I went to the show, and it was a stacked lineup. It was almost a festival kind of lineup.
Yeah.
And we managed to convince one of the door guys to let us leave the venue for a little bit, which is not a thing that you're supposed to do at the Palladium. We walked across the street to where we had parked, and this kid pulls up, and he pulled up, and Joe Chabelli got out of the passenger seat, and I was like...
To give context, we went to school with Joe Chabelli, and...
You were in a band with Joe Chabelli.
I was in a band with Joe Chabelli, too. Great guy, and he's in a couple bands in Massachusetts. Not sure what he's up to now, but... Great guy.
If his Instagram is any indication, he's still doing the harsh noise kind of deal, which is not my bag, but still, the music technology involved with that kind of stuff is just so sick.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. There's so many stories about A Loss for Words. We haven't even told the big one, but we'll get there. Yeah, so Raining Excuses, awesome song. Just that 1-2 punch. I mean, the album starts pretty strong, Honeymoon Eyes, Pray for Rain, and then you get the two heavy hitters. And after those first two, if you've never listened to this band and you're listening through this album, if you're not heels over head into it by the end of Raining Excuses, then pop punk's just not for you, my guy.
That's probably it. Honestly. Anyways.
Let's hop into The Hammers Fall.
The Hammers Fall. And this is, I mean, it's a little bit more laid back, a little bit more chill.
Yep.
It's not as straightforward and in your face. It's a different vibe.
Yeah, and it's this is another one that strikes me as like a very Boston song. It's that a lot of Boston bands, especially lyrically, they've got such like a piss and vinegar attitude about like being a part of the scene and doing things because they love doing them and for the community and everything else. And this song is a perfect example of that.
Yeah. Could you name some examples of why it fits into that mold?
It's that you get the I can't go on singing the same old songs that I've always sung about life and loss and the places I belong, hoping the melodies will carry me home. Like at least I immediately get into the headspace of like being on tour, hopping in the van, the alarm clock rings, the floor is cold, before my eyes are open, I'm falling out the door. Like it's very, you get some of these references to what it's like to be in, a DIY band and staying on people's floors and hopping into the van and touring through, especially like New England winters. These guys work hard when they're doing that kind of stuff. Like it's not, being a musician at the level that this band was at the time it's not a cakewalk.
Yeah. And I mean, we've talked about it before. I mean, like it's a grueling schedule. I mean, like you play your show, you have to load everything out by 12 or whatever, drive all the way to the next gig. Hopefully it's close by, or like you're sleeping in a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah.
You got to get to the venue by a certain time, do your sound check, make sure you eat, make sure you have enough time to like have your downtime and chill out and do whatever you need to. Play and do it all again the next day.
And you're doing that on a razor thin budget, and there's so many different things that could go wrong. And that one lyric, it all sounds well and fine, just fucking try it on for size. Like being in a touring band has this connotation for people that don't know about like, oh, you're living the life and you're just playing shows and you're traveling all around the country and the world and everything.
But very few
at
people
the level that this band was at,
very few people in the music industry get to the point where they're making money
or even just like living comfortably when they're out on the road.
Right. I like the last two lines. I will sing while I'm still young.
Yeah.
And I mean, like that kind of just summarizes it all.
Yeah, it's that very fuck you, I'll do what I want kind of attitude, and it works, and it's very distinctly like working man's pop punk.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's these guys are about the grind, and you have to respect it.
Yeah. Moving on to The Lost Cause I Used to Be. I can't read today.
This is one of my favorite songs on the album, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I just think that it's another just gargantuan chorus. It's huge, and this one doesn't let up. Like right from the beginning, you're just launched straight into the lyrics. There's no intro. It just hits you in the face and continues to hit you in the face until the end of the 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Yeah, it's a lot like if you like Pirouette, you're also going to like this song.
Yeah, like it's all about that melody and that in your face. It's
all about that huge chorus.
Yep. And lyrically, it's pretty. It's kind of it's like retelling a discussion between two people that are super close. And yeah, anybody who's been in a relationship has been here.
Yeah, in a world where you're trained to disagree, and you'll never fail to mention you're a loner and a liar. To find my heart buried beneath the lost cause I used to be. We are bitter, broken people, but at least we keep each other company.
Yep. It's a slapper. It's a bop.
It's like a dynamic of, okay, like we piss each other off, we disagree a lot, but we're still going to still be together no matter what type of thing. It's like a dynamic between like a child and like a parent, for example.
Yeah, it can be a child and a parent. It can be like best friends. It can be a relationship. It's another kind of cool thing about a lot of the lyrics on this album in particular. Like I said earlier, there's a little bit of a choose your own adventure kind of thing. It's not hyper specific. It's just like you get what the theme is and you get what the situations are, but it's not necessarily, it's not like a lot of other pop punk bands or even a lot of the hardcore, metalcore and everything else where there are lyrics where you're sitting back and you're like, oh, this is very specific. Like, who are you calling out right now?
Yeah, no, this is like the to bring in like another Boston band, like Blood for Blood, they have one song that's specifically about how much women suck and like screwing them over. Like, I'm not even going to repeat some of the lyrics in that song. It's awful. Do not listen to Blood for Blood.
I agree.
Anyways,
Yeah, let's move on to the title track, number 7, No Sanctuary.
yes.
This is not one of my top songs on the album. It's fine. It's just, sorry, I'm slightly distracted. There's an entire fucking family of birds on my porch.
Oh, that's fun. They're just having a family
just sitting
reunion,
there.
dude.
They're just sitting there staring. A little odd.
They just want your food, dude.
There is no food. I have to go grocery shopping, boys. Go on.
Give them some bread. Oh, wait, don't give birds bread.
What a time to be alive.
This song, it reminds...
The ADD boys.
Yes. This song reminds me of, some of the tracks, as you're now distracting me with your loud, stupid noises.
My bad.
Anywho, it reminds me of a couple of the tracks from, like, The Kids Can't Lose.
Yeah, you definitely get that kind of... It's not even really a throwback. It's just, I really don't know how to describe it.
It's more in that hardcore vein, for sure.
Yeah, which is fitting for a band that was like so ingrained in that Boston hardcore scene.
And I mean, it's the shortest song on the record.
At 2 minutes and 23 seconds, they just
plow right through it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the a loss for words when they get like, I like a loss for words when they're a little bit more introspective. I think that's why it's not like one of my favorite songs on the album. It's still a great song. It's just, yeah, this one doesn't like hit home for me.
It's one of the songs that somebody goes and everyone like does the circle pit.
Yep. Just open this up.
Yep, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, it's fun. And
yeah.
I
can't remember if I've seen them play it live, but I can...
41 ways to put you in your place. 41s to say, get out of line. Safe and secure, blanketed with warmth, while others are warmed by batons. Batons. Excuse me. Status quo shields some from the storm. On the other side of town, there is no sanctuary. I mean, that's good right there.
Yeah, it's that like... I wonder what the significance of 41 is.
I wonder too.
Once again, we'll have to get Maddie on the podcast to find out.
I mean, what did Jay-Z mean when he said, "I got 99 problems"? What are the 99 problems that Jay-Z has?
Can I get an itemized list of the 99 problems? And if a bitch is on there, I know you're a liar.
And Maddie, I need an itemized list of the 41 ways you're gonna put me in my place.
We're dumb.
And also, I need 41 ways of how you're going to say "don't get out of line" to me.
Are there 41 ways to say that? Seems pretty straightforward.
Let's try to think of all the ways you can say "don't get out of line." I can't think of a single one. That's good enough.
I can't think of a single one besides those words themselves. Oh, all right. Let's
enough of the silliness.
The shenanigans end now. Let's move on to JMR.
Which, again, similar to No Sanctuary, I don't think it's not sung by Maddie, is it?
I don't think so.
I'm
pretty sure they had a...
Is it sung by
they have a guest vocalist?
Mikey, like the bassist? Because I know he sings.
Yeah, I think so. They've got there's a couple of different vocalists going on across the album. Not as many as the next LP. But
for sure.
Because there's no like guest spots, really. Yeah, it might be Mikey.
Yeah, that's probably it. I mean, it fits on the record. It's not my favorite. It's not the worst song.
This is the real kind of Road Dogg song. You know, touching down halfway across the world. The open road is aching for my return. You're in a touring band.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of I smuggle all my friends in my pockets everywhere I go. I think especially in the age of, you know, constant connection and social media and texting everybody all the time, like there's a little bit of relevance to that line, especially.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, when you're a band like this touring around for as long as they have, you have a lot of friends and everywhere that you go.
Yeah. But again, I'm sitting back and wondering what the significance of JMR actually is. Whose initials are they?
Maybe it's a friend that like passed away.
Probably, more than likely. But yeah, it fits on the album. It's a, it's kind of like a little bit of that seventh inning stretch. Even though it's track 8, you get that kind of towards the end of the album lull with this song and the next one, and then it kind of picks back up and finishes strong. So yeah.
Yeah, and then with Jet Setter, this is the ballad.
It is the ballad. This is it might just be because of the reference to Russia right off the bat, but a lot of the imagery of being in so many different places and things like that. I actually really love this song because it gives me Menzinger's kind of vibes with the storytelling and, what they're trying to say lyrically here. And then, from a production standpoint, it's the ballad on the album. There's, every pop punk band has a handful of these, and
Yep. I was gonna say that, especially in like this era, there was at least one ballad on every single pop punk record, and it's also nothing new because if we think back to like the '80s, for example, every hair metal band had a ballad on their record.
had the one.
They had that one ballad that everyone wanted to slow down and just vibe out to, and
Yeah, it's
not so much in the '90s with grunge and all of that. And alternative rock, but
all of that was really mid-tempo to begin with.
Yeah.
They didn't really want to slow it too much down. They'd lose people.
Well, the '90s were too angsty anyways.
This is true. But yeah, I think lyrically this song is a standout, but as far as the actual production and the songwriting and everything else, it's a ballad. I'll still listen to it. This album doesn't really have any skips. There's nothing that's
Now, what is
turning me away from this song.
a Khazar?
Like a czar, like a king, like the czar of Russia. Yeah. I stood like a czar under a bold Russian sky, unbreakable.
Because that's like, they keep mentioning that word.
Yeah, I'm unwavering against the Mississippi tide, unwavering against the curvature of time. I like this one stands out to me because of the imagery. The music itself is, like I said, it's a ballad. It's cool.
Yeah, and after talking so much about, you don't know what it's like to be touring. It's hard, but at least you get to see really cool stuff like this.
Yeah.
And making memories like this.
And then of course, missing your loved ones. I only wish you could be here now.
Yeah.
You gotta shout out the people that you love when you're making an album.
True.
Yeah.
True.
This is a good one. Then we get to Finite, track number 10.
By Night.
And this one picks it up a little bit more. There's a lot of references to eyes. I won't see with paralyzed eyes.
Tonight we fight back with
like that's-
swollen fists and swallowed pride. Tonight we rock, we'll smash it up. It's a fun song.
It's another one of those songs where you can tell it was designed for the live show.
Yeah, and it's basically a pop punk party song.
Yeah.
Which is, there aren't many of them, at least in this era, because everything in like this era of pop punk was kind of dark.
For sure. It was like this was at the height of the angst and the aggression in the music and stuff. And this one is more just like, it's about the house show. Like that's the big takeaway for me with this one. This one feels like it's on the house show playlist. Like when you go to the punk house and everybody's just partying and having a good time and stuff.
Yeah. And
Sing with the moonlight, I won't let tonight pass me by.
And the big line, time is so precious for us all. It's one of those.
Live in the moment, man.
Yeah, exactly. And you gotta hang out and you gotta be able to just have a good time and laugh at yourself, laugh at others.
Exactly.
And it's a good message. And yeah.
I can picture Maddie, or insert another vocalist here, leading into the song, just talking to the crowd while people tune their guitars and stuff. We're here to have a good time. I want to see everybody moving. Like it's that condensed into a song, that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And then they close this album out with a heavy hitter, but it's actually a redoing, I believe.
When did this originally come out?
I believe this was part of the Webster Lake EP.
Okay.
When did Wrightsville Beach? When did it come out? Hold on.
But yeah, this is a heavy hitter for the last song on a record, and I think when a lot of people think of this record, they also think of this song.
Yeah, it was one of their bigger songs.
It's one of the best songs.
I agree. It's just overall, it's a good starting place for somebody who's never listened to this song. Yeah, it was on the acoustic EP. It was on the Webster Lake EP that came out before or after The Kids Can't Lose.
I forget.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
as AJ's doing
Webster Lake.
Okay.
Came out in 2008. Kids Can't Lose came out in 2009.
So this is like them finally doing like a full band of it.
Yeah. So this is the full band version, and it is, again, it's my kind of pop punk.
Why is that?
Because it's all the things that we've said before about some of the other songs. Like, it's big, huge guitars. You know, it's bouncy. You can move to it, but it's also just super catchy. And I think this album is probably the best that Matty has sounded. Because I think production wise, he is so front and center.
Yeah.
Where in some of the other stuff that this band has put out, it's easy with a band like this to get buried in the mix, and sometimes he does.
Yeah.
This one, he is so just in your face the entire time, and he sounds so good. Which again that's one of the things that Andrew Wade did so well with other bands he's worked with, especially, you know, this album has a lot of Homesick by A Day to Remember kind of sounds to it, where it's just everything is so big and so in your face, but the vocals are so perfectly just like crafted in there. Everything else is happening around the vocals.
Yeah.
Which is an impressive thing when you're producing things that are this loud and this busy in a mix.
I love the guitar tone in this song.
It's just, the only way to describe it is crunchy. Like it's heavy, but it's heavy and it's riffy, but it's not that like metalcore. It's
not A Day to Remember. It's like one step down from it.
Yeah, it's not that version of heavy, but it's still, there's weight to those guitars.
Yeah. I will say throughout this album, and especially this song, I love the sound of that snare. That's a good snare sound. That's a good snare sound.
That can make or break a lot of these bands. Like there's a reason why there's so many like sound engineer memes about getting the snare right.
And this snare is the ideal snare for like a pop punk band.
Yeah, it's not ringing out every time it's hit, but it's not dead. It sounds like a snare drum.
It's punchy.
Which is a big issue that I have with a lot of the stuff that was coming out around this time, and a little bit before. There's a lot of times where the drums don't sound like drums, like especially kick drums. The kick doesn't sound like a kick.
Right.
Or the snare just sounds like a cannon, or you can't tell the difference between a kick and a tom and things like.
Yeah, but like you can definitively tell the difference between all the drums in.
Yeah, this album sounds like somebody played a drum kit.
Yep. What they nailed in this song, and they nailed the chorus and they nailed the bridge, and those are the two most important things in a pop punk song, lyrically.
And translated it so well from what was like, it was already a staple for this band as an acoustic song, and transitioning it into a full band in your face kind of thing is impressive.
Yeah. And I mean, the chorus is easy to sing along to. Let the waves crash down. They'll swallow all of us and wash away those memories we tried to save. Was it enough to be brave? Easy, digestible. Weren't trying to be too cute with it. The bridge. All I ever wanted was a cool, dry place to rest my bones. Not to drift along with this current forever. Not to have to sink alone. And they're kind of screamy, so it's inviting the listener to scream them along in like the live setting.
Yeah, you get that, and you get that like, again, like taking a pop punk trope but not really going for the cliched thing, like Not to Have to Sink Alone has very like me and my friends against the world kind of imagery, but without being it's me and my friends against the world.
Right.
You know, they do a pretty good job of subverting a lot of the expectations that you would have from a pop punk band of this era.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's not like when I think of like the nautical theme, I think of like Transit, for example. And that one, I forget the name of that song. Hold on one second. But I remember how it goes. Let your ship sink into an ocean, to a sea of self-destruction. They have a lot of songs like that, to be honest.
True.
Because they end up like following that nautical theme quite a bit.
Welcome to New England, baby.
Yes. Stays the Same. That's what it is. It's off of Stay Home.
Was that the Run for Cover album?
Yeah, that's the one that came off. It's like an EP. Came out on Run for Cover.
Man, so that is No Sanctuary by A Loss for Words. Do we have any final thoughts?
This is an underrated record, and this is the best album they ever put out. People are gonna disagree with that, especially in the from Boston. This is better than The Kids Can't Lose.
Wow,
that's my viewpoint, and that might be a hot take. I don't think it is.
I think it's a little bit of a hot take. Kids Can't Lose, No Sanctuary, and Crises. Those three are all pretty much on the same level for me. I mean, this band, when I'm looking for this kind of sound, when I'm looking for this style of pop punk, it's those three albums, and nobody really does it better. I mean, Before It Caves has its moments, but it's not really my favorite of the band's output. But yeah, those three LPs are right there.
This is my favorite one. I think production wise, the writing, and what holds up for me generally is like catchiness, melodies, and like lyrics. This all still holds up to me.
Yeah, these songs will be stuck in the back of my head forever.
Yep.
So tight band and important band, not only for like our friendship, but also just like we were saying at the top here, I think this band did a lot for this era of pop punk that they don't necessarily get credit for.
Yeah, for sure. Which we haven't even gone into why this band is important to us.
Story time, kids.
So the first time AJ and I met, it was at a no, it wasn't a student orientation. It was like a student interest or information session at University of New Haven.
I think it was the accepted students day, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. If you had been accepted to the university, you could come down and tour and check it out.
Yeah. So we both went down on the same Sunday, and I think AJ was sitting literally behind me. And you're just making jokes and giving your mom a hard time the whole time. I remember that.
Very on brand for me.
Anyways, like I think I turned around and saw you wearing a Title Fight sweatshirt, and I was like, "Yo, bro,
yep,
sick sweatshirt." And then like I got up, and you're like, "Oh, you were like, "Oh, dude."
Yeah, fucking yeah. So we, my parents and I like took a trip down to Connecticut, and we stayed in a hotel the night before. And when we got up, we were getting ready. I went to put the Title Fight sweatshirt on, and my aunt had just bought me a University of New Haven sweatshirt. And my mom was giving me a tough time because she was like, "Well, you just got accepted to the school and we're going. Like, why wouldn't you wear?" Like, I had already decided that I was going to New Haven.
Right.
So my mom was like, "Why don't you wear your UNH sweatshirt?" And I was like, "Well, we're going to the school. Like everybody knows like why we're there. And I've already agreed to be going. Like I'm going to wear this sweatshirt because maybe somebody will know the band. And I like it'll be like a conversation piece more than just like, yeah, you're going to UNH? Yeah, me too. Or I'm thinking about it or whatever."
Right.
So yeah, I remember you turning around and being like, "Dude, I love that band." And I remember looking at my mom multiple times over the next couple of days and being like, "Do I know what I'm talking about?" Was I right? I feel like I was right.
I remember standing up and you're like, "Oh shit, dude."
Yeah.
I was wearing like a Lost for Words sweatshirt, like one of the, like an old, like maroon, like.
Yep.
It's cool.
Yep. The pullover hoodie.
Oh yeah.
Never gonna go out of style. And yeah, so we hung out for most of that day, and we had talked like a little bit. I feel like we had exchanged messages on Facebook because there was like an accepted students group.
Yeah.
But that's when we first kind of met. And then later that summer, A Loss for Words played a benefit show for like a friend of the band or something. And it was Wind in Sails, Paris, and A Loss for Words.
The
I feel like
Moms.
there might have been one other band that oh, The Moms. I forgot about The Moms,
That band.
who you ended up playing a show with later
Yeah, like a year later.
because it's a super small world.
Yes.
So yeah, they played a show at the Weymouth Knights of Columbus, and I drove up and you drove down, and we hung out at the show for some time and got to know each other and hung out, and that was kind of like the beginning of the friendship.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately I had to bail before A Loss for Words because after Wind and Sails set, I went outside to see why my phone was exploding in my pocket the entire time. And it turned out that my grandfather had had a stroke. So I drove up to Braintree and took the red line into the city, and my uncle came and picked me up at South Station, and that became a whole thing. But that was a wild night, and the friendship started at the accepted students day partially because of A Loss for Words, and I think we agreed to be roommates.
Yep.
And they were roommates. We agreed to be roommates at that show, I think.
I think so, yeah. It was something like that.
Yeah.
And
And the rest is history.
yeah, exactly. Now we're here.
Now we're podcasters because of course we are.
Yeah, because the world needs another podcast by like two white men.
It really does.
It really does.
We're here to provide you a service, dear listeners.
All right.
All right.
Do we have anything else, sir?
I don't. Let's hop into some recommendations.
Sure. I have a good one.
All right.
So
Lay it on me.
one night, I'm away from my mic now. I have to,
Oh no.
All right. So one night, I'm gonna just repeat that again. I was drinking a couple beers, and I made. It's not a mistake because like I really wanted this hat, and I finally got it. But I got this Lowell Loch Monsters hat. Now, if you grew up in Lowell in the mid 2000s / like late 90s, you know who I'm talking about. The Lowell Loch Monsters. They were like the Lowell hockey team, like minor league hockey team. But I got this hat from the Felt Fanatic, and he just specializes in like old sports like clothing. He has really good stuff. Highly recommend if you're looking for nostalgia of like the 2000s.
I love that. Get you some headwear, kids.
Yes, you got it. He also has a store in Salem, but I just ordered it offline because there's no good way to get to Salem from good old Boston. I mean, there's the commuter line, but I'm not going.
Yeah, but that's
Not to.
expensive
I mean,
comparatively.
like the other day I did take the commuter line, and it was literally to take it to Boston Landing because I was going to O'Brien's pub for a gig.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, would have taken the same amount of time with like the subway or whatever.
Sometimes you have no choice but to hop on the purple line.
Oh yeah,
Man, I gotta get home soon. We're working on it.
we're gonna
Just riding
see
the
about
train.
that. What is your recommendation?
My recommendation is the band Hum. Kind of a I don't know. I guess you could call them shoegaze. They're a great just rock band, and I think the last album that they put out was in 1997. And like their entire discography up to 97 is just flawless. Like if you're just looking for big guitar based like riffs they're catchy, but it's not like A Loss for Words catchy. It's not sugary sweet like Poppy. It's just it's technically catchy.
Right.
And it's really about, the guitar tone and everything else. So I liked them. I wasn't like a massive fan, but I knew that I really liked them. before then, but I recently found out that they actually got together and put out an album last year.
Yes, they did.
Called Inlet, and that band was silent for more than 20 years and came back with this album that is, they just picked up right where they left off. And it's not like, it's not a nostalgia project. They're not rehashing things that they did. They're just putting out more music that sounds exactly like them, and it's crazy that band is still that good after all that time.
That's awesome.
So specifically the song Step Into You it's a jam. So if you have not listened to Hum before, get on the bandwagon, do the thing.
Yeah, hop on.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of another episode of the Packy Run podcast.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Hit us on all our social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at Packy Run Pod. Like us, rate us on your podcast players. I know a lot of them have share features and ratings and everything else. So make sure you do that, because it does actually help get the podcast into other people's ears, because you guys all know the algorithm lords rule over us all.
Yes, it does. And I think that's it for today's show.
Cool. Thanks for listening. I hope you like it.
Wow, that you sounded so wow,
so detached. Just, I hope you like it.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
Smash that like button.
Subscribe.
Turn on notifications. Somebody needs to stop us. Goodbye.